Hello, hello, hello. Can everyone hear me? I'm checking with my husband outside the window right now to make sure everybody can hear me because this is my very first ever Patreon live stream. And I'm using some new tech. And so I'm making sure all is good. Oh, he says all is good. Yes. Welcome, 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 welcome. This is very exciting for me. I've been wanting to do Patreon and do live streams and teach you how to do things forever. And this is so exciting for me to be able to be here and do this. So we're going to be making marbled paper today using a Japanese technique called sumi nagashi. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's so calming, so meditative. Once you know how to do this and you have all these bottles of ink, you can just quickly set this up and just relax and think peaceful thoughts. It's the most wonderful thing ever. I'm going to try and keep an eye on the chat over here. This is my first time doing this, so everything's new to me today. This is very exciting. I love new. So welcome to my studio. We're going to be making marbled paper today, like these sheets that I've already made. Beautiful marbled papers. And then the next live stream, once we have those gorgeous marbled papers, we're going to make some books like these. You can obviously use any kind of paper, but they're extra fun and beautiful with the marbled paper. So here's one that I made. This little sewn pamphlet stitch binding, which is one little set of folded pages inside. So we're going to be making these books next time with our gorgeous papers. So let's get started on these. So I have some water over here. I have my tray. I'm going to go ahead and pan down so you can see the table and see what I'm doing as we go along here. So let me find a good angle here. I have to look sideways over here to see myself in the camera. And give you a view of my table here. So one day I'll have two cameras go back and forth between the two cameras, but for now, this is going to have to be how it is. I think that's amazing. Okay, so I have my tray here. White tray is great, something clear. It just needs to be a shallow tray of some kind, and preferably not a dark color. If you have something clear and a dark table, you can just slide some white paper underneath it. That works pretty well too. So I have my water. I'm going to go ahead and pour in. I like about a 1/2 inch, so I just use my fingernail as a guide, and I fill it up to about the point where it's the top of my fingernail. I'm using my middle finger, index finger, something like that. It's not exact science. Just want enough that we're floating the inks on a decent amount of water and not overflowing. Okay, so that's about right. It's a little deeper on that side. Okay, so now I have a strip of just printer paper. And I'm going to skim the surface of the water with my printer paper. Just 1 second here. Just checking on the chat here. Looks like someone's trying to get in right now. You can do it. You can do it. Okay. So I have my my water here. I'm going to skim it. What I want to do is get the dust off of the surface here and then and just clean it up. And that's going to help with floating the inks as well if it's a really dust-free surface. So I just have just a strip of just throwaway paper. I'm just skimming the surface. You can actually see the dust coming off. I get to the end, I just like to pull it up. And then I flip the paper over and I just do it again or grab another sheet. Just like to be really thorough about this. It's just better if the water is really, really clean. Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to play with my inks. I have all my little brushes here, all different sizes, mostly small. And I also have a glass of water here with some dish soap in it, just a little bit of dish soap, and that's a surfactant. So it's going to break the surface tension of the water, and you'll see what that does. We're going to use this brush as well as the inks. Okay. Oh, there's Emily. Hi, Emily. You made it. I saw your message. I was hoping you'd find your way in. All right, Emily. So all we've done so far is put about a fingernail's depth of water in here, and then just take a strip of paper and just skim the surface of the water a couple times to get the dust off so you can catch up. And then I have a little glass over here with water and a tiny bit of dish soap and its own little dedicated brush. You can get caught up. I believe in you. Oh, and hi, by the way. Hi. Okay, I'm going to angle this up just a little bit more. Okay. All right, we'll work out a way to have my face in it at all times in the future. I'm learning as I go along today. This is really fun. Okay, so I have my brushes. I have my little palettes. I have a dish here that I can put ink in. And I also have some little vintage butter dishes that I'm going to use for inks as well. Okay, so I'm going to grab one of my butter dishes here. Now this is ink, and it's specifically formulated with a surfactant in it. So it's going to help it float on the surface of the water. So I'm going to choose just one color to start. We're just going to evolve this vat as we go along, and I'll show you different techniques, but we're just going to start really simple and work our way up. So it does not take much. I'm just putting a little drop on my little dish. I'm grabbing one of my brushes. I'll get this one. And then really loading up the brush a lot. Tons and tons of ink. Okay. And then I'm grabbing my brush over here that has just water and dish soap in it. I'm holding one in each hand. I'm going to start with the ink, and I'm just going to touch the surface of the water. And then the dish soap, and then the ink, dish soap. You can barely see what's happening right now. I'm going to go to my black ink so you can see to start with really what's going on here, because that's not enough, not dark enough. I really want you to see in these beginning ones what's happening. As the surface ends up with more ink on it, you'll be able to see better what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to load up the brush really heavily with that black ink. There we go. You can see that better. So then you can see I touch it with the water and soap, and it leaves a white ring. So I'm just going to keep alternating. And you can do this with two different color inks, and we'll do that next too. See why this is so meditative and sweet? I love doing this. I just keep going. And I can move to the other side over here if I want to. Make some little dots on the side. Okay, I'm gonna do one more over here. I can see the green ink at the edges there. I don't know if you can too. Keep my brush loaded up here a little bit. There we go. It's nice and dark. Go one more over here. Okay, so keep organized with my brushes here so I know what's what and what's where. Okay, now we can move the inks around. There's all kinds of ways to do this. We're going to start with just our breath. So I'm just going to blow the inks around the surface here. Okay, I like that. All right, I have some papers. Some lovely, lovely papers. So I have just some basic, kind of really simple, kind of thinner paper, kind of everyday stuff. I have a couple sheets of handmade that I made out of cotton. I brought some mulberry paper. It's lovely long fibers. This is printmaking paper, cotton, linen, probably mostly cotton. And I brought some microcosmia paper from the bookbinding project I did recently. Thought that'd be kind of fun. I'm going to try and raise this camera up so we can get a higher angle of everything. This is a lot of fun, trying to play with this. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to get myself in it too. That's a little better. Okay, so I'm going to grab a sheet of my paper here. The only rule is it has to fit in here. There can't be any overlap because we have to have the whole thing laying down. So this one fits nicely. So no prep to this. I'm just going to go for it. So I'm just going to start and just bow the center and start laying it. And I can pick a part of the ink that I like better if there's one section I really like. Bow the center, lay it down gently on the surface of the water. I don't want any bubbles. So we're just going to push it down. Just make sure there's no bubbles. Make sure we're picking up all the ink we want. And then pick it up. And this part can be ungraceful. Look at me, how amazing that is. I love this so much. It's satisfying every time. And you can blot this with a paper towel if your paper is making it kind of start to get fuzzy on the surface. I'm just going to leave it like this. Looks like that looks like gorgeous Carrara marble to me. That's so pretty. And I was going to hang it up to dry. I have a little rack. My little drying rack behind me. Okay, so this point, you can skim this if you want to. I'm just going to leave it like this. I like working in iteration. Lean down so you can see me. Hello. I like working in iteration. So I like to just leave this the ink like this, and then just keep adding into it. And I like that the interest that brings. It's like the ghost of the previous one. But if you don't like that, you can take a sheet of paper and skim it off and start again. That's fine too. Okay, so this time, I think I'll go black and green this time, alternating. And we'll leave out the soapy water. To the side here. Remember which brush is which. I don't want to get them mixed up. I've seen this done with giant Sumi ink brushes, and you don't have to refill your brushes often because they hold a lot of ink and they have just a really tiny point. But cheapo brushes from the kids craft section are also just fine. I like the ghost thing happening over here. It's so pretty from the previous one. Oops. Okay. Go with that for now. The best thing about this is just play. It's just straight up play. It's very fun. Okay, this time I'm going to use a marbled fan. I have a bunch of these still on my website. These are made by Mia Amanda. She's wonderful. She does acrylic marbling, I believe. It's a little bit different technique than what we're doing today, but I have a bunch of her handmade fans on my website right now. I'm just going to move the ink around with the fan. Kind of looks like oyster shells through here. Just makes a different pattern. when you use a fan instead of your breath. The air moves differently. That's kind of cool. Okay. I'm going to go with a slightly smaller sheet this time. Same paper. Still got the sticker on it from the back. Okay. Like it right here. So I'm just going to bow it in the center, lay it down towards the edges. Check for air bubbles. Pick it up. Ooh. You can see the ghost that happened in this section from the previous print, and I just left that there. I love that subtlety. I think that's so pretty. All right, hang it up. I have a studio floor in here, so I'm just kind of letting it drip how it wants to drip because my floor is not precious. Okay, so you can even, like, at this point, you can even take a ghost print, what we call a ghost print, off the surface of the water without adding any more ink, because there's still, I can see lots of marbled things floating around, but I'm going to get some new colors and keep going. Okay, so black. Really liking the black today, but I want to do some red. Okay, that's enough. Do a slightly bigger brush. So it really does help to, like, really soak the brush with, like, more ink than you think you need. It really does help. Get my black going again. We'll do black and red this time. I'm going to start over here. Oops, that started for me. So what happens if it drips? You get a little bit of ink sinking, and it won't do anything down there. It's just, like, not usable. What works is to touch the surface of the water. Wow, the red's moving around really cool. Like I said, you can dump the water out too and start again if you get too many of those inks at the bottom. You feel like you can't see what you're doing, but I don't mind. I kind of like to just play it and see what happens if I just leave everything in there. But some people like to start a brand new tray of water like every few prints. I'm just not that guy. Ooh, that's cool. This is moving off to the side here. I'm going to try to work into this and move it back towards center because that looks really cool. That previous ghost is kind of moving together now. Previous Ghost, name of my new band. That's pretty cool. Okay. Now I'm going to move things around a little differently this time. I have a little ceramicist awl they use to measure the bottoms of pots. You can also just use like a needle or a pin or something like that. Anything that's like thin and pointy. And I'm just going to start moving it through. Just creating little eddies. Just open that up. That's really cool. You get really good at this. You can start even like making intentional shapes. I've seen people draw flowers and things with this medium, but that's another level of mastery. Oh, you have a dark receptacle? Oh, okay. Yeah, if you can, as long as you can still see enough of the colors. Just kind of see where they're moving around. Yeah, it helps to have something white or clear. Okay, that's pretty, I'm liking where that's going. Ignore these dark drops here. They're on the bottom. Okay. I'm gonna use another big sheet of paper because I like the whole width of this. Okay. Oh yeah. That's really pretty. Oh my gosh. That's a lot darker than I expected. And these will dry a little bit lighter than when they're wet, obviously. But I love how the ghost stuff, like from print from the previous ones, moved around into these little compact sections. That turned out really gorgeous. I love that. All right. It's a mystery, but it's part of the fun. I love your attitude, Emily. That's great. We're just dripping on each other. Here's what I made before as my practice this morning. It was really fun. That one down here, that one's already dry. Okay. I'm not going to worry about the stuff that's pooled on the bottom here. I'm just going to keep going. I'll get a new color here. Another little dish. Okay. I have a bigger brush that's closer to a Sumi ink brush. I'm going to try that one. See how that one goes. We're going to mix some color actually. I'm going to take some, I don't have a purple, so I'm going to see if I can do one. I have been like not liking purple for most of my life, and something recently has changed in me, and I kind of love plummy purples now. I'm not sure what happened. Oh, it looks so pretty when it's mixing together. Oh my gosh, it marbled itself in the dish. I don't know if you can see this. You can hold it up to the camera. Is that going to focus? Maybe not. I think it's mixing too. It marbled. Okay, I'm going to mix this together and see if I can get a purple. Or just mud. Okay, so we're going to go purple and red. Oh, kind of looks blue. But we'll see when it prints. I think the slightly bigger brush does work a little better. The Japanese are correct in using those bigger Sumi brushes. Okay, I'm just going to go with one giant circle, and then I'm going to try and move things around. And you can use something like even finer than the awl. You can use even like a pine needle, and I've even seen people use a cat's whisker because cats shed their whiskers sometimes, and you can use the fine end of the whisker, and it makes these tiny little lines. It's so pretty. Okay, so you can kind of see in here concentric circles. And I'm going to start, there's a lot of ghost at the edge here, and I'm going to start trying to pull it to center. Just little by little. See if this works. I can't tell how much ghost is really left there. Oh yeah, that's coming in. That's really cool. It takes a minute. I'm just going to let that move around for a second and see where it goes and what it does, what it wants to do. You kind of feel like it's so pale, so hard to see. You kind of have to pay attention and really look closely because it can feel like you're doing nothing until you take the print. Oh, I'm breathing on it. It's moving it around. That's hilarious. I laughed on it. Okay. I'm going to try a piece of my mulberry paper. There's a polished side, and then that was whatever surface it was dried on. And then there's the more fibrous side. I'm going to try the fibrous side. That tends to pick up pigment better than polished that way. I'll just go this way into this corner. Okay, so there. So center first. Lay it down. Ooh, this paper's a different experience. It lays down so much easier. But I can see the bubbles too. There's a bubble. Let it get completely soaked before I pick it up. It's going to be wetter too. Oh, I did get some purple. It's paler than I expected, but that's quite pretty. This paper just picks up ink differently because it's so thin. It's so soaking wet. I'm dangling these back here to dry, but I'll probably end up ironing them before I use them to get them flat again because they're going to dry kind of wrinkly. But I'll probably even put like a waste sheet of paper on top of them to iron them, just so I don't potentially burn them, and keep the iron kind of a low setting, and no steam, please. Okay, what can we do with this? We have a pinky surface. I'm really liking how this paper has been picking up. I also really want to try microcosmia paper too, but I'm going to see if I can get into a sweet zone here. Oh, there's one more technique that I want to try for sure. So let me do that. If you have some rubbing alcohol in the house, grab that, and we're going to try something. So first, I'm going to go back to using black and maybe my purple. I'm going to go dark on this one, I think. See how this looks. So satisfying to do this. It kind of forces you to slow down, just be thoughtful. Okay, now I'm going to take some of my dish soap water and just kind of create some holes. Kind of open it up in a few places. Then I can work into those spots separately. So maybe I'll do just some of my green and my dish soap water into these open spots. You have to get some more ink on that plate. Yeah. Let's do that. Really want that brush soaked. That's better. Okay, leave that like that. I'm going to put a little bit of rubbing alcohol in something I can dip into. Grab a separate brush. And then I'm just going to touch the water with the, oh my gosh. Did you see that? Okay. I never tried this before. This is my first time trying this. I'm going to bring the camera closer so you can see this. Ooh. Sorry. Give you seasickness in the meantime. All right, let's get right down on here on this thing. Okay. So here's my rubbing alcohol. Here's this little flower it just made. So I'll get up here. Watch this. That is pretty amazing. Let's do it again right here. Wow, that's so pretty. Oh my gosh, I love that. That is so satisfying. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Always wanted to try this. Wow. It's like there's like there's extra motion, like chemistry's happening and like to cause extra motion, the way it kind of suddenly blooms. That's just amazing. Oh, why is it focusing and refocusing on you? Wow. Okay, I have to print this. I have to know what happened. Okay, let's see. Make sure I get up there in that corner. Okay. Ooh, that is cool. That is really cool. You can see the sort of blossoms that happened in here with that alcohol. That's so pretty. Wow, that's so fun. Oh, good. You're trying the rubbing alcohol? Yay. Hopefully, you'll be able to see it in your dark container. Okay. All right. I'm going to try putting some more orange into this here red. Don't be afraid to mix the colors. You only get, so many colors with the set. So just feel free to have fun with it. So there's more of an orange red. That's really cool. I'm going to up my, move that brush out of the way. Okay. Add some more black to my plate over here. These bottles really do last a really long time. Okay. Soak my brushes. Trying to do something really saturated so I can go on my Crocosmia paper. Making that Crocosmia paper was so much fun. That took me the whole process of making the paper from the Crocosmia leaves from the garden and then turning it into pulp and turning the pulp into paper. By the way, if you hold the brush down longer, you can get it to open up like that more, right? So like the longer the dip, the more ink goes down and the wider that opening will get. See that? I can get a really saturated area. Probably good for the Crocosmia paper to have these big rings. It's a little bit of a darker paper. I don't know how it's going to pick up the ink, so we're just going to give it the best shot it possibly can. Anyway, so yeah, making the paper and then binding that edition of 6 books and filming everything and editing that video about it. The whole process took me 2 weeks, and that's all I did. I didn't make any jewelry. It was very weird because I'm always making jewelry. There we go. And I was so happy during those 2 weeks. It was so much fun. Got to do tons of things I like: bookbinding, filmmaking, paper making, being in the garden. This is pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to go over here, break up this section of kind of purpley pink. kind of fun to play with, leaving the brush in different amounts of time to see what you can get. This looks pretty graphic and cool. I really like adding the black. I think it's one of my favorites. Okay. I like how this swoop of purpliness is coming through here. But I am going to mess with this. You can also get a straw and blow through the straw. I'm bringing my fan back out. We're going to blow with the fan. Trying to find the perfect angle here. Oh, I love what the fan does. That is so, so pretty. Even just like you could fold up a piece of paper and do this, but the fan really like does something really cool. Okay, I'm gonna try my Crozmia paper. I'm gonna be bold. I only have so many sheets of this, but I really want to see how this looks. So let me grab this sheet here. Okay, here it is from Crozmia leaves from my garden. Let's see, this side looks like the fibers are a little smaller on this side. It was probably sitting against the mold this way, and the bigger pieces came to the top. So I'm going to try this. Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, it fits perfectly in there. Ooh, it lays down so beautifully. It could be it's just too dark. I can see a bubble right there where it's light. And one right there. Ooh, yeah. That looks pretty cool. Much more subtle, but really interesting. The lighter sheets make the graphic qualities look a lot more obvious, but that's pretty cool. Okay, let that dry and see what happens. It might just lighten up, but we'll see. Okay, I haven't done any blue yet. I want to do some blue. And I want to try a couple other little things. So let's see here. I always run out of table space. I'm a spreader outer when I work. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna try some blue. And a brush. I'm gonna do this orange red with the blue. We'll start on this side this time. Oops, I'm about to get a brush. There's different things that happens if you lay the brush down. It's a little bit of a subtler look, and if you have the brush straight up and down, you get more of a graphic line at the edge. Nice. Okay. More blue, more orange. I'm going to work right into the side of this big blue sweep that I made here. Open that up. And see what I mean as you work? Like occasionally there was too much ink and it sank to the bottom, but I kind of love like how this palette develops over time. I like looking at it. It's kind of cool. Oops. This is looking very 1960s psychedelic so far. This color palette and this this design. I may have to do something about that. Okay, work more over here. Try to make this kind of dense on this one. Okay. Now I'm going to try marbling this a little bit with my stylus all again. Try and mix these together a bit. I'm just going to go end to end this time. And then up and down. And I think I'm just going to make some openings in it here and there with my soapy water. And then maybe pull back through those. Just playing, just kind of doing what I feel in the moment. I think that'll be cool. I like the kind of openings. Okay, I have one more long, two more long sheets. I'm going to use those. And I have some smaller ones. Yeah. Yeah, that looks cool. Oops. Trying to separate it out so you can see it. Yeah, that looks really neat. I like that. Texture of the paper adds a lot, I feel like, to this. That's something I really like, how it softens it. You may not like that. Okay. I'm going to try some on some less textured paper just to see what that might do. I have some sheets here, a paper that with a much smoother finish. Coated paper isn't great for this because the ink just slides right off, but something that's a little smoother is good too. Okay, I'm going to use some yellow. So I haven't used the yellow yet. We will go with yellow and blue. There's a technique I've seen where people use linseed oil, like you use an oil painting, and use that in brushes, and that does different things too. I feel like if you do the linseed oil, you clean out your vat pretty well, degrease it before you move on to something else. You should just play with that in one go and not try to switch back and forth, because once oil is in here, it's going to be really hard to get it back out again. But I've seen it do really cool oil slick looking things on the surface of these pieces. I just didn't choose to do it today. I might do the alcohol again on this one though. because I loved that. That was so beautiful. In fact, let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, here we go. This is alcohol. Ooh. Oh my gosh. It kind of like spirals outward really fast and then sucks in towards the center again. You can see that. Oh my gosh. So cool. Yeah, I'm in love with that. That's incredible. It's like making flowers on the surface of the water. Wow. Okay, I'm going to try printing this. I might do it in two because I have small sheets of paper. Let's see. I can get two on this surface. Just about. I'm going to try it. Okay, so here's number one. And then doesn't quite fit. We're going to see if we can get like a print on one side of this one and just overlap it that way. Good, you. Ooh. Yeah. Wow, that's very cool. I kind of like this solid line it made over here. I can like drip it that way. Get it to drip. Kind of. One thing you can do when you pull these up is you could blot them immediately with paper towel. If you don't want the ink to run around as much as mine does. That's gorgeous. Wow, I love that. That turned out really cool. And some of that surface ink is just going to run off, right? You can kind of see it moving around. But you can blot with paper towel. Okay, I'm going to try something kind of crazy that I have seen done. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I'm gonna try it. I'm going to use a lot of black ink. Here's my black. I'm actually going to get in there with a bigger brush. So I want quite a bit on the surface for this. And this might be a big nothing, but we're going to try it anyway because I'm desperate to give it a shot. It's kind of the surprise of the live. It'll be a surprise for me too because I have it. So it might or might not work. Yeah, there we go. I'm just going to dot some of this orange through it. Just do some sections of that. And then go back in with some black. You can print these giant circles. If you like that, you can print that. You don't have to move it around if you don't want to. Just don't breathe. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to move this just a skosh. Just because I don't like the big dots. I just want it broken up a little bit. But I want to leave kind of a big dark area in a couple places. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm going to put on my safety glasses. And I have here a butane torch. This is what I use for making jewelry. A lot of people have these in their kitchens too for making clay. And I'm going to light the ink on fire. Or try to. All right, here we go. Oh my gosh. It does do things. Sumi ink is soot, and so it burns. It does move things around. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. It kind of sucks it into a little vortex. What happens if I really burn an area? Ooh, it changed some colors. Wow. There's some colors there that I did not add. Okay, I have to print this and see what just happened. Okay, I'm gonna get mostly this corner here. Maybe I should have done it on one of the smoother sheets of paper. I might have to do this a couple times just to see. Oh my God. Where did all that orange come from? That's amazing. And the green, oh, look what it did. Like this is a burnt area. That's incredible. There's like a heat patina on there. That's amazing. Wow. Right? Oh my gosh, look at that. It darkened the ink. It burnt the crud out of it and it darkened it. That is amazing. Okay. Okay. All right, now I'm addicted. Now I have to try this. I have to burn the whole surface now, right? I have to try it. Like, just go crazy with all the inks and see what we can get here. I'm gonna do tons of colors too. Still a fair amount of ink floating around in here too. It kind of pushed a bunch of ink down into the water. Or pulled some up. I can't, honestly can't tell. It's 2000 degrees, so it's, you know, nothing to sniff at. Oh, I can still see some of that burnt ink floating around here. That's so beautiful. I'm just gonna I'm gonna do this and not move it. Put a ton of ink on the surface. And then burn the whole surface more. Because I think that's really beautiful. So I'm doing some blue and green. Okay. Now, where'd you go? There. Do some of this yellow and some of this orange red again that I made. This is wild. Let me go with some more black again and some more green. I feel like it pulled so much ink into the flame that I can kind of go crazy with adding a lot of ink to the surface. Because it's just gonna pull it in. Okay, I'm just gonna leave just like that. That's looking actually really gorgeous. And now we're gonna get the torch again. Get my nice flame there. Still wearing my safety glasses. I'm just gonna start burning this. Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is so amazing. Oh, look at that. I feel like I'm painting with fire. Oh my Lord. This is so cool. Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay. Got a couple interesting areas I want to grab prints off of. So I'm going to first over here. Oh, that's deeply satisfying. Look how fun that is. That's just incredible. This corner is really cool. Oh my gosh. That's so fun. Okay, and then I'm going to grab one more print off of this corner here. Wow. Oh my goodness. I think I like that even better. That is really, really interesting. I'm so curious how it'll dry. It just looks like stone. That's so beautiful. Wow. I'm reduced to just throwing them on the floor. All right. That was amazing. That was super fun. The torch this is my new favorite tool for water marbling. I'd seen this done very briefly. I didn't know exactly what it would do. And now that I do, this is my new hobby. Burning Sumi ink. It's kind of amazing how it pulled it together, consolidated it, and made the color even more saturated. I did not expect that. So go get yourself a little butane torch at the kitchen store. So amazing. Well, that's all I have for you today. Was that fun? Did we have a good time? For those of you watching this after the fact of the live, show me what you made, please. This will be posted, so you can go and watch this over and over again and marble with me as many times as you like. Anyway, thank you for hanging out with me. The next one will be taking our marbled papers and making some cute little books. Once you can make your own little sketchbooks, you are unstoppable. You have gifts for everyone forever. And you have little sketchbooks that you made yourself that you can draw and write in and carry around. You can make them in every size and every color with every kind of paper. It's really fun. So anyway, thank you for hanging out with me and making some things. My favorite thing is hanging out and making some things. And we'll be back doing this again before you know it. Another live coming, and there'll be some more Patreon videos coming soon. There will be some more YouTube things coming soon. I have lots of big plans, so stay tuned. So anyway, thank you, Emily. Thanks for spending time with me. Take very good care of yourself. I'll see you in the next whatever it is that I do. Bye.